Hi Aditya, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, sir. What about you?
I'm good too, thank you. So can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, I'm glad to introduce myself. My name is Aditya. I'm from Andhra Pradesh. I have completed my BTech in the year 2022 with 6.3 CGPA. Later, I got interested in software testing. So, based on it, I've learned technologies like manual testing, SQL, Code, Java, and Selenium. Now, currently looking for jobs in testing field. And that's all
Mhm.
about me. Thank you.
Okay, okay, great. So in this interview, we would be focusing more on core Java related interview questions.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So now, when do we use try catch?
So whenever we get some, when we get to
Hmm.
know that when there is some exception is going to be held in the code, then we
Hmm.
can use try and catch blocks.
Hmm. Okay, so try catch blocks are generally used to avoid exceptions so that
Avoid
code does
exceptions.
not break before the full execution. Okay, can we
Yes,
have two catch blocks?
yes, sir. We can have, yeah, we can
Correct, correct. Your answer is absolutely correct. We can have multiple catch blocks with
multiple
the
catch blocks.
try statement. What is throw and throws in Java?
So throws is a keyword which
Hmm.
is also used to handle the exception.
Hmm. And what about
Uh,
throws?
and throws, throws. Sorry, sir, I couldn't able to.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. So throw, what it will do, throw will transfer the control from the try block to the catch block.
Catch block,
Whereas
yes.
throws is used for exception handling without try and catch block, right?
Yeah,
So
we
throw,
can
yeah,
we can add it in method, right? Sir?
right, right. So throws will specify the exceptions that a method can throw to the caller and does not handle itself, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
that is the difference between throw and throws.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you draw a flowchart of multiple catch block? What would be the
Catch.
flow? What would happen if we have multiple catch block? I'm giving you screen sharing rights. So
Yeah.
what you can do is you can click on green color button, and
Yes.
if you're comfortable with Notepad++, if you can just put those pointers, you have one try block, you have multiple catch blocks, then how it would be displayed.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Hmm. Yeah, can you click on share screen button, the green color
Yes,
button?
sir. Sharing, sir.
Yeah.
Sharing, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's visible.
So this is how it looks like.
Mhm.
First, we will
So
specify one
you have
class
to
here.
come up with multiple catch block, one try block
Yeah.
and multiple catch block.
Yeah. I'm just writing the syntax of class itself so that it
Right, right.
have full looks. Like we have a method, make a method like here. Block. Uh,
So yeah, so you have multiple catch.
Catch blocks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what would be the output of this program?
Like the exception is going to be handled. Since the exception causing statements are put in try block, first initially try block will handle the exception and it will throw an object, and that object is going to catch by this catch block, and this catch block is going to be handle the exception.
Okay. Okay. So what I will do is, let me share my screen. I'll show you
Yes.
the flow chart also.
Yes.
Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we have one try block. Okay.
Yes.
If exception will come, then it will try to find appropriate catch block to execute. So exception 1, it will go to catch 1. Exception 2, it will execute catch block 2 for exception exception type 2. Then
Yes.
if there is exception n, so similarly you can consider execute catch block for exception type n, and then
Yes.
it will execute statement out of try catch block.
Yes.
If there is no exception, then it will execute statement out of try catch block. So this is how you can also create a diagram in an interview.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, fine. What are checked exceptions in Java?
Sorry, sir.
What do you mean by checked exception, and what do you mean by unchecked exception?
So checked exceptions are known by the compiler. Like we have IO exception.
Right. Then file not found exception, SQL exception. Right.
Yes, sir. These are all some checked exceptions.
Checked exception.
Whereas
Correct.
unchecked exceptions are like string out of bound exception, array index out of bound exception. These are all considered as unchecked exceptions.
Unchecked exception. Perfect. So if you are getting this question in an interview, then what you can do is you can explain a bit. So let me share my screen. So these are few points that you can mention for checked and unchecked exception. So first of all, you can give some examples. So IO exception, file not found, interrupted exception, SQL exception, these are all checked exceptions. Now, an exception that is checked at compile time, that happens during the compilation, that is known as checked exception. Okay. So accessing a file from a remote location could throw a file not found exception, right? The programmer is responsible for handling the checked exception for successful compilation. You have to ensure the compilation should be successful. So as a programmer or as a software engineer, as a developer, we have to handle those kind of exceptions.
Yes.
Okay. So that is checked exception. If it is not handled, then the program will be giving you a compile time error. Now, what happens in unchecked exception? So unchecked exception, again, as you had mentioned, null pointer exception, arithmetic exception you mentioned, then array index out of bounds exception, stack overflow. These are all unchecked exception.
Unchecked exceptions.
Okay. An exception that is not checked at compile time is known as unchecked exception. Okay. So any line of code that could throw an exception at the runtime is said to be an unchecked exception.
Unchecked exception.
Okay. So this is the difference between the checked exception and unchecked exception. Unchecked exception would be because of the programming error, right? So that's how you can explain in an interview. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Okay, now let me ask you one question. So if you have to handle database connection errors, right? So would that come into a checked exception or unchecked exception?
Database, I think it comes under checked exceptions.
Checked exception. Perfect answer,
Yes.
right? So handling database connection errors, reading from a file, network communication, this will come under the checked exceptions only.
Checked exceptions.
Great, great. Okay. Okay. What is heap area?
Area is a place
Mhm.
where a group of objects is going to be stored in that heap areas.
Are you sure?
Sorry, sir.
Mhm. No worries, no worries. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video, right? What do you mean by heap area? So put your answers in the comment section of this video. Okay. Now, what is thread in Java?
Thread is used to, if you want to run any task for a
Hmm,
couple of times, we use
hmm.
thread.
Correct, correct. What do you know about multi-threading?
Multi-threading, just a minute.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, let's say when you have
Yes.
to achieve or when you have to get some parallel activities, so you will have to divide those
Yes.
process into the multiple threads, right? So that is
Multi-threads,
known
yes.
as multi-threading.
Multi-thread, yes.
Okay, fine. So what is the difference between process and a thread?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat again, sir?
Yeah, what is the difference between process and a thread?
Sorry, sir. I don't know about
Mm-hmm.
it.
No worries, no worries. So there are a couple of differences. So let me show you the difference between process and thread. Hmm. So what does process mean? The process means any program is in execution. What does thread mean? Thread means a segment of a process itself. Thread takes less time to terminate, process takes more time to terminate. Process also takes more time for creation, while thread takes less time for creation, right? Then process is less efficient in terms of communication. Thread is more efficient, right? You can also go for multi-threading, right? Then
Yes.
multi-programming holds the concept of multi-process, right? We don't need multi-programs here. You have multiple threads itself, right? So these are key differences between process and thread. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
let's take this string as Aditya. Okay. Consider you have string as Aditya and you have
Yes.
to write a Java program to find out the vowels that are present in this string.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So can you write the Java program? Can you open IDE?
Yeah. Sure.
You have IDE set up
Yes, sir.
done?
I have ideas.
Okay. Okay. So you have screen sharing rights also. You can
Yes.
share your screen. String is Aditya. You have to find out
Yes.
vowels. You are aware about vowels, right? A, E, I, O, U.
Yes. Yeah. AI.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in your string, in this word Aditya, you will have two A's and one I, right? So
I see.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Sir. Just a minute, sir. It's launching.
Yeah, string is your name itself. So you can share your screen. You can click on green color button, share screen.
Yeah, yes.
So you have practiced program of counting of vowels in the string.
Yes, yeah.
So this is bit on the same line, but yes, bit different output. Counting
Yes.
vowels, and now we are trying to uh, find out vowels. Yeah.
Vowels, yes.
So similar. Yeah, similar. Okay. So you are using for loop and if
Yes, yeah.
condition. Okay, great.
There is some error stating here.
Yeah. No worries. You can take your time.
Done with the code, sir. Can you just
Mm-hmm.
check it once?
Okay. You are trying to use if condition and
Yes, sir.
or that you are using.
Yeah,
Okay.
or operator. Yes, sir.
Hmm. Why don't you use regular expression?
Actually,
Hmm.
Actually, I'm sure about this logic, sir, so that's why I
Okay.
just used.
Okay.
I don't know why this what error. I just put this error in this message.
So, let me share my screen.
Yes.
Hmm. So I'll show you. So there are two approaches. Definitely, your approach is also a good one, right?
Yes, sir.
See, the below approach, wherein I have used or, a, e,
Yes, sir.
I, o, u, right? This syntax you can keep in your program as well, right?
Yes, yeah.
So if your character matches any of these values, then it's a vowel, else it's
Oh,
a
well, sir.
consonant, right? And here I have
Yes,
used a regular expression.
yes, sir. Okay.
Hmm? So we can use this regular expression, and then we can ask using scanner class, we can ask what the input that we want to find out, whether
Yes,
for vowel or for consonant, so that we can ask. Then we are compiling the regular expression, right? And then we are putting the if condition. String contains vowels, string does not contains vowels,
oh, yes,
right? So these are the approaches that you can use. Yes, your approach was also correct. This line
yes,
was just giving you a programming error. So this is how
yes,
you can write. Okay.
yes,
So that's great. Okay. So now let's move to next program. So these questions you would be asked in an interview. Okay.
yeah, okay.
Now, how will you check whether a number is even or odd using, in Java? Let's see what you are using.
Yeah. Shall I write a
Yeah.
program, sir?
You can write the program. Again, you can reuse the same program itself. Don't write
Yeah,
public
okay,
static
sir.
void main. Just change the logic so that we can find out the number is odd or even. Yeah, let it be P1 public static void main. Yeah, let those things be as is.
Let us, yeah, taking one number. Um, so I'm done with this program.
Right. So let's run this program once.
Yeah, it's showing it's
It's
even.
even. Okay, great. Okay, now what do you know about inheritance in Java? Yeah, so you
So
can stop
when,
sharing the screen. Yeah, you can stop.
yeah,
Yeah. So
so
what are
when
what?
one class,
Yeah. Please go ahead.
when one class inherits the properties of other class, we can
Mm-hmm.
known as inheritance.
Mm-hmm. So what are the types of inheritance in Java?
We have single level inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
and hybrid inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Last, and hierarchical inheritance. These are the five inheritances we have in groups concepts.
Okay. What do you mean by hierarchical inheritance?
So hierarchy means if let us say we have a classes like A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
So if A acquires the property, B acquires the properties of A, and C acquires the properties of B, then we
Of
can call
B.
it as hierarchical inheritance. So
In hierarchical inheritance, one class will serve as a superclass, or you can say base class, right? For more than one subclass. So let's say, let's take your example. If you have class A, B, C, D, right? Then you have class A, and class B, class C, class D would be derived from class A itself,
Class A, yes,
right? So class
yes,
A will serve as a base class for the derived class B, C, and D.
yes, yes,
Getting it?
yes, yeah, I got it.
Hmm? Okay. Great. Then what is hybrid inheritance?
So, and combination of hierarchy and multiple inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, multiple inheritance.
Yeah. Does Java support multiple inheritance?
So, so actually through interfaces we can achieve it.
Right, right. Okay. What is interface in Java?
So interface, it's a concept of hoops where
Mm,
through interfaces we can achieve 100% abstractions.
interface. Okay. So interface in Java is a mechanism to achieve abstraction, right? What is
Abstraction, yes.
interface? You can define um, so what you can do is interface is actually a blueprint of a behavior, right? Interface will contain few of the static constants, and it will contain abstract methods,
Yes,
right? If you want to specify the behavior of some particular class, then you can go for interface,
interfaces.
right? Okay. Okay, Aditya, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
So may I know from my,
Okay,
I just want
feedback.
to know
Oh, yeah.
feedback, yes.
Yeah. So, Aditya, see, your communication skills are good, presentation skills are good. You were able to write the program, right? See, at times what happens is people do get freaked out in an interview. They do get scared that they are not able to write those programs, write the logic as well.
Yes,
But you were able to write those programs. It is just one place that you got stuck was, I think, odd even program you wrote properly. And then the
yes.
previous program related to vowels, in that
Vowels,
odd
yes,
condition you got stuck, but rest of the program was good. But at least you were clear with the logic
yes,
of the program. So
yes,
that's a good thing, right? Then earlier we started with the interview questions on try catch, multiple try catch, then flow chart of one try, multiple catch. Those things also
yes,
went well, right? Yeah, so I think overall it was good. Last question, I think interface also you were able to answer. Then inheritance related thing, when there was a question on one base class and multiple derived
yes,
class, right? A, B, C, and D. So that
yes,
question answer you were, so apart from that, I think 70% to 80% you were able to answer. 10-20% is fine, right? No one would
yes,
be able to answer 10 on 10 in an interview, right?
yes.
But being a fresher, if you are able to answer these many things, that's actually a good thing. Now you have to work
I'm
on
glad
these
to hear from
particular
you, sir.
things. Sorry?
I'm glad to hear from you, sir.
Yeah. So you have to work on these particular things and do practice on Selenium more, because Selenium
Sure,
automation
sir.
questions would be asked to you. They will
Yes,
ask you to open some website and find out locators,
yes,
XPath, relative XPath, or CSS, whichever you
yes,
find at that time reliable, that you have to tell to them, right? So practice on
yes.
those lines, practice Java programming questions also. Those will be asked,
Sure, sir.
right? I think threads and process, that difference you have to understand and you have to work on
Yes,
those things. Java collections is the topic. Array we could not cover today, but yes, those two topics you will have to prepare. Okay, rest all looks good. It was good talking to you, right? Thank you so much, Aditya, right?
yes.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you
sir.
so much, Aditya, and wish you all the best for your career.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.